Picture this. It's 2:30 in the morning and you're jolted awake by a searing pain shooting through your calf muscle. The cramp is so intense that you can barely breathe, let alone get out of bed to stretch it out. Your spouse stirs beside you, concerned, but there's nothing they can do except watch you suffer through another one of those agonizing muscle spasms that seem to be happening more and more frequently these days. If you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That helpless feeling when your own body seems to be working against you, stealing your peaceful sleep and leaving you exhausted the next day. And here's what breaks my heart about this whole situation. So many of you have been told that leg cramps are just part of getting older, or worse, that the only solution is to drink more water and hope for the best. But what if I told you that the type of salt sitting in your kitchen right now could be the difference between those excruciating midnight wake-up calls and sleeping peacefully through the night? What if the solution isn't just about drinking gallons of water, but about understanding something that most doctors never learned in medical school? The profound difference between ancient ocean salts and that highly processed table salt that's been stripped of everything your muscles actually need. I'm Dr. John DeMarco, and I'm here to walk with you on this journey to find your strong, cramp-free legs again, so every step you take is filled with joy and confidence. Over my 15 years in medicine, I've seen thousands of patients just like you, frustrated by recurring leg cramps that seem to come out of nowhere. And here's what I've discovered. It's not about age, it's about giving your muscles the right minerals they're desperately crying out for. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but doc, my doctor told me to avoid salt because of my blood pressure. And others of you are wondering, how can salt possibly help when I'm already taking medication for my heart? These are exactly the questions we need to address, because the truth about salt and muscle health is far more nuanced than most people realize. Let me start by helping you understand what's really happening inside your muscles when those cramps strike. Your muscle fibers are like tiny electrical circuits, and they need 4 key minerals to function properly: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Think of these minerals as the conductors in an orchestra. When even one is missing or out of balance, the whole symphony falls apart, and that's when you get those painful muscle spasms. Here's the first eye-opening truth. That white table salt in your kitchen has been so heavily processed that it's essentially just sodium chloride with a few artificial additives thrown in. During processing, all the beneficial trace minerals that your muscles need, the magnesium, the potassium, the calcium, they're all stripped away. It's like trying to fix a car with only one tool, when you actually need a whole toolbox. Now let's talk about ancient ocean salts. And I'm referring to salts like Himalayan pink salt and real salt that come from ancient seabeds that dried up millions of years ago. These aren't just marketing gimmicks. They're fundamentally different from table salt. When you look at Himalayan salt under a microscope, you'll find over 80 different trace minerals, including the very minerals your muscles are screaming for. But here's where it gets really interesting. Many of you have shared with me that you're taking statins for your cholesterol, and you noticed that your leg cramps got worse after starting these medications. This isn't a coincidence. Statins can interfere with your body's ability to produce coenzyme Q10 and can affect how your muscles utilize these essential minerals. If you're dealing with statin-induced cramps, the quality of salt you're using becomes even more critical. Let me paint you a picture of what happens when you switch from regular table salt to ancient ocean salt. Imagine your muscle cells as tiny sponges that have been dried out and hardened. Regular table salt is like pouring harsh chemicals on these sponges. It might add some sodium, but it doesn't provide the gentle, nourishing minerals needed for the sponge to become soft and pliable again. Ancient ocean salt, on the other hand, is like giving those muscle cells a warm, mineral-rich bath that helps them relax and function properly.
Now, I want to address the elephant in the room. Some of you have high blood pressure, heart conditions, or other health issues where your doctor has told you to limit salt. I hear you, and I respect that guidance. But here's something most people don't know. It's not just about the amount of salt you consume. It's about the type of salt and how it's balanced with other minerals. When you have high blood pressure, your body is often dealing with an imbalance between sodium and potassium. Regular table salt gives you a massive dose of sodium, with virtually no potassium to balance it out. Ancient ocean salts, however, contain natural potassium along with the sodium, which can actually help support healthier blood pressure levels. But, and this is important, if you have serious heart conditions or are on blood pressure medications, you absolutely must work with your doctor to monitor any changes in your salt intake. For those of you who can safely increase your mineral intake, let me share some practical ways to use ancient ocean salt for cramp prevention. First, try dissolving a pinch of Himalayan salt or real salt in a glass of water before bed. Many of my patients find that this simple ritual dramatically reduces their nighttime cramps.
The minerals are absorbed quickly, and your muscles have what they need to relax through the night. Here's another approach that might surprise you. If you're already experiencing a cramp, try putting a small pinch of ancient ocean salt directly on your tongue and washing it down with water. I've had patients tell me their cramps started subsiding within minutes. This works because the minerals bypass your digestive system and get absorbed directly into your bloodstream. But salt therapy goes beyond just what you put in your mouth. Some of you might benefit from soaking your feet or legs in a warm bath with ancient ocean salt. The minerals can be absorbed through your skin, and the warm water helps improve circulation to those cramping muscles. It's like giving your legs a spot treatment that actually serves a medical purpose. Now, let's talk about something that's been coming up more and more in my practice: cramps related to dietary changes. Some of you have adopted low-carb, keto, or carnivore diets, and you're experiencing more frequent muscle cramps. This happens because these diets have a diuretic effect, causing you to lose electrolytes more rapidly. If you're following one of these eating plans, ancient ocean salt becomes even more important because you need to replace those minerals more frequently. Here's a practical tip for my low-carb friends. Start your day with a glass of water mixed with a 1/4 teaspoon of ancient ocean salt. This helps replenish the electrolytes you lose overnight and can prevent cramps throughout the day. Some of my patients also keep a small container of ancient ocean salt with them and take a tiny pinch whenever they feel that telltale tightness in their muscles. But I want to be clear about something. We're not talking about consuming massive amounts of salt here. A little bit of high-quality ancient ocean salt goes a long way because it's so much more mineral dense than regular table salt. Think of it like the difference between taking a cheap multivitamin versus eating a nutrient-dense, whole food the body recognizes and utilizes the natural minerals much more effectively. Let's address another common concern I hear. Doc, what about the iodine in table salt? Don't I need that? This is a great question. Table salt is fortified with iodine to prevent thyroid problems, and iodine is indeed important for your health. However, if you're eating a varied diet that includes seafood, dairy, or even sea vegetables occasionally, you're likely getting enough iodine from other sources. Plus, some ancient ocean salts do contain natural iodine, though in smaller amounts than fortified table salt. Here's something that might surprise you. The source of your salt matters more than you might think. Some ancient ocean salts come from areas that are now polluted with microplastics and other contaminants. This is why I recommend looking for salts that are mined from deep, protected deposits, rather than those harvested from current ocean sources. Real salt from Utah and high-quality Himalayan salt are good examples of salts that come from ancient, unpolluted sources. For those of you dealing with medication-induced cramps, I want you to know that you're not powerless.
Yes, certain medications like statins, blood pressure drugs, and diuretics can contribute to muscle cramps by affecting how your body processes minerals. But by optimizing your mineral intake with high-quality ancient ocean salt, you may be able to reduce the intensity and frequency of these cramps without having to stop your important medications. I've seen patients who were considering quitting their statin therapy because of intolerable leg cramps find relief simply by switching to ancient ocean salt and adding a magnesium supplement. One patient told me, "Dr. DeMarco, I went from waking up 3 times a night with cramps to maybe having 1 mild cramp per week. It's given me my life back." Now, let's talk about timing and dosage. The best times to consume ancient ocean salt for cramp prevention are in the morning to start your day with good mineral balance, and again in the evening to prepare your muscles for a restful night. Start with small amounts, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon dissolved in water, and see how your body responds. You can gradually increase if needed, but remember, more isn't always better. Here's a practical approach that works for many of my patients. Keep a small container of ancient ocean salt by your bedside. If you wake up with a cramp, put a small pinch on your tongue and drink some water. The minerals will start working within minutes, and you'll often find that the cramp subsides much faster than it would with stretching alone. For those of you who are athletes or very active, ancient ocean salt can be a game changer for preventing exercise-induced cramps. Traditional sports drinks are loaded with artificial ingredients and often don't have the right mineral balance. A simple mixture of water, ancient ocean salt, and perhaps a squeeze of lemon can provide better hydration and cramp prevention than those expensive commercial products. But here's what I really want you to understand. Preventing leg cramps isn't just about avoiding pain. When your muscles are properly nourished with the right minerals, you'll notice improvements in your overall energy, your sleep quality, and even your mood. It's amazing how interconnected everything is in your body. I also want to address those of you who might be dealing with more serious underlying conditions. While ancient ocean salt can be incredibly helpful for nutritional deficiency-related cramps, it's important to rule out other causes like blood clots or arterial blockages or other medical conditions. If you're experiencing severe, frequent, or worsening cramps, especially if they're accompanied by swelling, discoloration, or other concerning symptoms, please consult with your healthcare provider. Let me share one more insight that might help you understand why this approach works so well.
Your body evolved over millions of years consuming natural, mineral-rich salts from ancient ocean sources. The highly processed table salt that's become standard in our modern diet is actually quite foreign to your body's natural processes. By returning to these ancient salt sources, you're essentially giving your body what it recognizes and can use most effectively. Think about it this way. Your great-grandparents probably used natural, unrefined salt, and they likely didn't suffer from the epidemic of leg cramps that we see today. Part of that might be due to their more active lifestyles, but part of it was also their diet, which included more natural, mineral-rich foods and salts. As we wrap up our discussion, I want to remind you that muscle cramps don't have to be an inevitable part of aging. They're often a sign that your body is asking for something specific, usually better mineral balance. By choosing ancient ocean salt over regular table salt, you're taking a simple but powerful step toward giving your muscles what they need to function properly. Remember, this isn't just about avoiding the pain of cramps. It's about protecting your precious freedom, safeguarding your joy, and maintaining your independence so you can continue to be that strong, active person your family depends on. Every time you choose ancient ocean salt over processed table salt, you're making an investment in your ability to chase after grandchildren, tend to your garden, or simply walk up the stairs without fear of painful muscle spasms. If you've made it this far, thank you from the bottom of my heart for investing in your most valuable asset, your health. Your well-being truly matters. And remember, you are never alone in this journey.
When you find relief from those painful cramps, you're not just helping yourself, you're setting an example for your loved ones about what it means to take charge of your health and live life on your own terms. I'm curious to know, when you think about sleeping through the night without being woken by painful cramps, what's the first thing you look forward to doing with all that extra energy and better rest? Share your thoughts with our community below, because your journey to better health inspires others who might be struggling with the same challenges.